All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is I, Jolting Joe, with the Jolting Joe Sports Show. Today is Tuesday, April the 19th. Doing the show a little bit early this week because last night we went to the Astros home opener. Excuse me, Astros got a big win last night. And then, smoke, hello. And then tomorrow I'm going to go up to Minute Maid to get a replica ring, and then American League Championship ring. And then Thursday I got a dentist appointment, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the show Thursday. And then Friday we're going back to the ballpark because the Astros are playing the Blue Jays. My wife's favorite player is George Springer, even though he's a Blue Jay now. We still like Georgie. And then Verlander is going to be on the hill for the Astros, so we want to see Verlander pitch as well. So that's what we're doing the show early this week. So, what are you drinking? What are you smoking? First of all, smoking here. This is a Rocky Patel. This is the 1990. This is one of my favorites that they do. I really like the 1990 a lot. Just a really good smoke. And then as far as what are we drinking, we got an aged beer for a year. Now, once again, this is our Houston Craft Brewery, St. Arnold. This is the Russian Imperial Stout, aged in bourbon barrels with vanilla, cocoa nibs, and coffee. But this, the reason it says 421 on there is because this was April of last year. All right, that's when. So this has been aged for a year, and so let's crack this puppy open, shall we? All right, let's see if we can get a good little. I don't know how loud that was, but it'll work. All right, and what's this one say? All hopped up. Okay. All right, so let's got my Imperial Commitment Stout. We'll go ahead and pour this beautiful Russian Stout. Russian stouts are good any time of year. I don't care who you are. I mean, I just like stouts. It doesn't need to be cold for me to enjoy a stout. It is beautiful here in Houston today. It's in the mid-70s. Absolutely gorgeous. The roof was supposed to be open last night at the ball game. Unfortunately, they had some mechanical issues for some reason. The roof wasn't open, but it was fine because Jordan went yard twice on his bobblehead night, and was 3 for 5 with 2 homers, 4 RBI, and a single. And then struck out twice, but yeah, it is what it is. And then Luis Gonzalo, Cha-Cha as we call him because he's got the Cha-Cha step, struck out the side in the first. So no Mike Trout last night. Mike Trout got hit in the hand, so they kept him out of the lineup. And then Altuve pulled a hamstring last night, so we'll see what is going on with him. But there's your local Astros. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice and smoky. All right. Cheers, everybody. Okay, so a couple things to talk about today. First, let's go ahead. I'm not going to lie to y'all. All right, I haven't watched any of the NBA playoffs, but let's go ahead and talk about the NBA playoffs because there was some news, and the news was from was about Kyrie Irving. All right. And so here's kind of what's happened so far. All right. Game 1 between the Nets and the Cavs went to the Nets. Nets won. That was the play-in game, I believe. They won 115 to 111. And then the Timberwolves beat the Clippers in the play-in, 109-108. Hawks beat the Hornets 132-103. Pelicans beat the Spurs 113 to 103. Hawks then beat the Cavs 107-101, and then the Pelicans beat the Clippers 105-103. So round 1. So that was your play-in games. Okay. Round 1 recap. From Saturday, the Jazz beat the Mavericks 99-93 to take a 1-0 series lead. The Timberwolves then beat the Grizzlies 130 to 117 to take a 1-0 series lead. Then in the Eastern Conference there, the 76ers put a beat down on the Raptors 131 to 111. Take a 1-0 series lead. And then the Warriors put a beat down on the Nuggets 123-107. Once again to take a 1-0 lead. Miami Heat defeated and then Sunday, the Miami Heat defeated the Hawks 115 to 91. Also 1-game lead there. And then the most exciting game was that Nets-Celtics game. Came down to the last second. Hold on. Gotta suck harder here. All right, but that one came down to a last-second shot, and the Celtics were able to win it on a game winner, 115-114. And we'll get into the whole Kyrie thing in a second, but that was so the Celtics took a 1-0 lead. The Bucks beat the Bulls 93-86, and then the Suns beat the Pelicans 110-99. Game 2 yesterday, 76ers beat the Raptors 112-97 to take a 2-0 series lead in that one. The Mavericks defeated the Jazz to tie the series at 1 apiece. The game was 110-104. Then the Warriors once again put a beat down on the Nuggets 126-106. Warriors have a 2-0 lead. And then today we've got Hawks at Heat, Timberwolves and Grizzlies, Pelicans and Suns. All right, so that's kind of what's going on. There's your NBA recap if you've missed anything. So that's where everything stands as of right now. All right. We get a little bit of, see if I get a little fire here. Well, maybe, there we go. All right, woo. Trying not to blacken that, and I just blackened that. That was stupid. Anyway. All right. So the big story was the Celtics in Brooklyn. Now, Kyrie Irving, of course, we already know is batshit crazy. All right. Kyrie, flat earther. All right. So probably not the smartest guy there. Didn't do the vaccine, which that's a personal choice. I'm not going to knock him for that. All right, if he didn't want to do it, he didn't want to do it. But it cost him a shitload of money because he couldn't play in Brooklyn. His money, though. I can do what you want. All right, once again, personal choice. We're not here to talk politics or say what's right or wrong or anything like that. If he chooses not to get vaccinated, that's his deal. But like I said, it cost him a hell of a lot of damn money. He didn't do it. Of course, he used to play for Boston, and of course, what's going to end up happening, what happened is he got out, and so he had some altercations with the fans, give him the old double bird, and all that kind of fun stuff. So this just came down. Oh crap, where did it go? This just came down a few minutes ago. But Kyrie just got fined $50,000 for flipping off Boston fans during Game 1 of the NBA Finals. So, there you go. All right, there you go. So the NBA just found him 50 freaking grand, 50 large, for flipping off the fans there in Boston. So Kyrie, I hope it was worth it. All right. I mean, we know we've all wanted to flip off the fans. If I had 50 grand, maybe I'd do it. I don't know. Probably not. That's a lot of money. Yeah, even if you're making millions of dollars, 50 grand, Jesus. But, you know, kind of is what it is. It's Kyrie. All right, he's well, you know, he's, like I said, he is Kyrie. All right, and I cannot, well, I might be out of juice here. I mean, hopefully I can keep this thing going. We'll see. If not, I'm going to have to, well, we'll figure it out here. All right. Anyway, give it a little shake here. We'll see what happens. All right. But so anyway, that's kind of the big news with the NBA playoffs. So really good game. And then Kyrie, you know, flips the fans off and then gets fined $50,000. So there you go. All right. Next order of business. I don't know if anybody watched the USFL. I am wearing my Houston Roughnecks shirt for the XFL. Then I have my Stephen F. Austin, where I graduated from, Astros hat on today. That's why it's purple. Just so you know, I guess the face colors are purple. So that's what's going on with that there, just to let you know. Now, so obviously, we have the USFL. Now, the USFL is a kind of a, you know, Part D. All right. And kind of screwing the cigar up. Got cigar smokers out there looking at me going, what the fuck's this guy doing? But anyway, the USFL was around in the 80s. All right, I know Jim Kelly played for the USFL. I think he actually played for the Houston Gamblers, as a matter of fact. Jack Pardee, who then went on to coach the Houston Oilers, he actually was the head coach for the Houston Gamblers. And so obviously the XFL went away in 2020 because they started the 2020 season, obviously. I actually went to the first ever Houston Roughnecks game here in Houston, and it had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Of course, the pandemic hit, and then Vince McMahon decided just to kill the league. And then The Rock and his ex-wife, Danny Garcia, bought the XFL. That was the other thing I was going to talk about. Let me bring that up while I'm talking to y'all. But then and the XFL, they are supposed to start. They're supposed to start next season. All right, and the USFL, of course, started this season, and so basically, what's going to end up happening here is you're going to end up with two, basically, for all intensive purposes, two minor league football leagues. Okay, now I actually enjoyed the XFL even in 2020. Hell, I enjoyed it the first iteration. You know, when you had He Hate Me and all that kind of fun stuff. Rod Smart, who actually went on to play for Carolina Panthers. Tommy Maddox played in that league. He played for Pittsburgh, quarterback. And it was interesting. There was different things, you know. Instead of doing a coin toss, they sprinted out for the ball and all kinds of stuff. Also, we got Skycam from the XFL. You see it in every football game now, the Skycam over the field. The XFL started that back in the early 2000s. But that's where that comes from. That comes from the XFL. Vince came up with that. So there's stuff like that. And then Vince decided to bring the XFL back. You know, so fully after one season, he brings it back. And I kind of dug it because they had Oliver Luck, Andrew Luck's dad. They had him actually running the thing. So you had a real football guy behind it. They ended up with some really good, interesting rules that I enjoyed. I enjoyed the extra point stuff because you could, no field goals for extra points. It was you either go for the 2-yard line for 1 point, the 5-yard line for 2 points, or you go for the 10-yard line for 3 points. So I thought that was interesting. And also really liked their kickoff coverage because they put the guys like within 5 yards of each other. Normally, of course, with the NFL, you're about 10 yards apart. And nowadays, of course, with the NFL, because of safety concerns, the kicking team cannot get a running start. Everybody's got to start, and then usually the kicker kicks out of the back of the end zone anyway, and you get a touchback. So what the XFL did is they put the guys really 5 yards apart, real close to each other, and they moved the kickoff back a little bit to where you're going to get a return. But they also made it to where you couldn't move, but because you're so close to each other, you could still actually set up a kick return, but you had the safety issues were there because that way you're not just colliding into each other. It's not like the old wedge days where you get a 3-man wedge and then you got a wedge breaker that just goes headlong right into the sucker, like trying to kill himself. Right, so. But you got actual kick returns, you got some excitement instead of just touchbacks and stuff like that. So I kind of dug it. And then, of course, the Roughnecks, not the Rednecks. The Roughnecks, they were undefeated. We were having a good time here in Houston. The Texans freaking sucked. Bill O'Brien had gotten fired and shit. I think that was that year, or maybe was that the pandemic year? No, that might have been the pandemic year. That might have been 2020. But anyway, Texas still sucked. And, so people went out and, it's Texas. We love football in Texas. And so we were like, hey, screw it. Let's go, man. Let's go watch some games, man. So I had a good time. I actually liked it. All right. Now, the USFL, they got some interesting stuff, too, since they came back, with extra points and things like that. We're not going to really get into that. But the thing about the XFL, the USFL, is they're playing all their games in Birmingham, Alabama this year. Which to me seems like number 1A, this is kind of like 1A, 1B here. 1A, they want to make sure the thing's going to work before they actually send these teams to their cities. what the rating, whether the rating is going to be, or is there going to be an audience for this thing? And then number two, were they able to find any place to play in the respective cities? Okay. But the play, I did watch a little bit of the Gamblers game, but it was sad. The stadium was empty. There was some rain that day on Sunday. Saturday, it looks like they had an okay crowd. On Saturday, I think it was the was it the Generals? I don't remember who the hell was playing. But Birmingham was playing. But maybe because Birmingham was playing was the reason they had a big crowd. So maybe they maybe had a home team crowd there in Birmingham come out to support the team. But it was pretty ugly football, to be completely honest with you. It was pretty ugly. And then, like I said, Sunday there was some weather that moved through. The game was an hour delayed getting started. But once again, there was nobody in the stadium. It was damn near empty, like literally almost empty. And there was maybe 50 people at the game. Like, I'm not exaggerating. If you saw it on TV, you know what I'm talking about. It was freaking horrible. All right. But I don't know. It's football. If you like football, you're going to watch. Baseball season now, though. We got the NFL draft coming up. How much are people going to pay attention to the USFL? I don't know. It's on NBC. It's on Peacock. It's on Fox. We'll just have to see how it goes. I don't know, but it wasn't great. All right. It was not great. So we'll see if there's anybody like in the XFL. Help BJ Walker from the Roughnecks. He ended up starting for Carolina. At quarterback last year and this year, this past season and the season before, got picked up. And then, like I said, there was even old XFL players like Rod Smart, Tommy Maddox, so they got picked up. So it'll be interesting to see if any USFL players get picked up. As far as the XFL goes, they're supposed to kick off after the Super Bowl, start their season in 2023. Now, the USFL season doesn't start, of course, till April, so I guess the XFL is going to start earlier than that. So maybe they're not in direct competition with the USFL. But with the XFL, they did announce the head coaches for the XFL. Like, for instance, Jeff Fisher is one of the coaches in the USFL. Kevin Sumlin, former coach of A&M, he was the coach of the Houston Gamblers. For the XFL, Bob Stoops is going to return. Bob Stoops is going to coach the Dallas Renegades. He is so that's so he's going to come back. Wade Phillips, of course, the son of Bum Phillips, legendary head coach of the Houston Oilers. Of course, Wade Phillips, if you're a football fan, you know Wade Phillips, defensive coordinator. Coached the Cowboys for a while, coached the Bills for a while, defensive coordinator for the Texans, defensive coordinator for the Broncos when they won their Super Bowl with Peyton Manning and Gary Kubiak, defensive coordinator for the Rams when they lost to the Patriots in that god-awful Super Bowl. He's going to be the coach of the Houston team. Terrell Buckley will be coaching Orlando, Reggie Barlow, D.C., Anthony Beck, St. Louis, and then some familiar faces here. Rod Woodson, the Hall of Fame cornerback that played for Pittsburgh. He's going to coach Vegas. Hines Ward, once again, former NFL player, NFL wide receiver for, once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's going to be coaching San Antonio. And then former NFL head coach Jim Haslett, who coached the New Orleans Saints. He's going to coach the Seattle team. And so that's going to be where that's where the head coaches are at for the XFL. All right. Oh, once again, I got to do some sucking here. Got to keep this sucker going. So that's the coaches for the XFL, and then which I like Wade Phillips for coach of Houston. You kind of got to do that. Kind of have to. Houston legend. All right. And so we'll see what happens with the XFL. It'd be good to see him back. And then The Rock has already said that he wants a partnership with the NFL, which I think is the way to go with that. All right. Yeah, I'm going to have to... I got to refill my lighter. No, I think that's the thing rocking around in there. No, this is... Oh, there we go. I know this is thralling television. I'm sitting here, like, doing this motion, trying to get my the ass end of my lighter fluid here for my butane. There we go. Okay, trying to get the cigar an even burn and keep going here. So, sorry, I apologize. This is horrible. All right, but anyway, I just asked myself. Oh Christ! Hold on a second. Let me cover this up. Right. Just gonna blow myself off there. Okay, let me see if I can kind of ash that off of there a little bit, and then see if I can Yeah, this is a 101 what not to do with a cigar. So if we got any future cigar smokers out there, what I'm doing right now, don't do that. Just don't do that. Anywho, okay. So yeah, but that's what's going on with that. All right. So, and like I said, I'm kind of interested to see the XFL coming back. Hell, I'll go to a XFL game. All right, I'll go to an XFL game. Hell, if the USFL makes it a season, I might go check out the Gamblers, maybe. All right, but yeah, I'll be down for that. Okay. So that's the USFL and the XFL. So that's what's going on there. All right. And then we got baseball and stuff going on and all that kind of fun stuff. So take these last few minutes here, the last 10 minutes or so, to talk about the wave. Here's my deal with the wave. There's 2 criteria that I think you must have before you do the wave. Number 1, I think it has to be the 7th inning or later. So I think you only do the wave 7th, 8th, 9th inning. That's it. All right. First 6 innings, no. Off limits, you don't do it. All right. You wait till late in the game, you do the wave. The second stipulation that I have for doing the wave is it's got to be a blowout. All right. Or at least, well, not necessarily a blowout. We got to say, so if you do it in the late innings, we'll say a 5-run lead or more. All right. 5-run lead or more, late innings. So after the 6th, you have to have a 5-run lead or less. Then it's acceptable to do the wave. Okay. That is the only time it is acceptable to do the wave. Okay. I'm at the game last night. The Astros at the time, now they ended up winning the game 8-3. Okay. It was the top of the 7th inning. Angels were up to bat. And they loaded the bases. And at this point, the Astros, I believe, had a 2-run lead, if I remember right, at the time. Close game. It's like 4-2. All right, something like that, 4-1, something of that nature. Astros have this lead. Bases loaded. 1 out. And some jabroni tries to get the wave going. The freaking bases are loaded. Your team is holding on for dear life, and you're going to start the freaking wave? Are you fucking kidding me? You're going to start the wave with the bases loaded and your team only up by 2 runs, and you're going to start the wave? No. Guys should be thrown out of the fucking stadium if you're trying to start the wave in a close ball game. All right? It's a close ball game. Do not do the wave in a close ball game, especially if the bases are loaded and your team has the possibility of going behind or the other team tying the game up. Do not, I repeat, do not do the wave. All right, once again, if it's a 5-run lead or more and it's the later than the 6th inning, then you can do the wave. It's perfectly acceptable. You're bored, your team's winning, you're feeling good about yourself. All right, base is empty. Third stipulation, nobody on. Okay? Do the freaking wave. You want to do the freaking wave then, do the freaking wave then. Okay? That's fine. I get it. You're at a ball game. You want to have a good time. But do it at an appropriate damn time. Do not do it during a freaking close ball game with the bases loaded and your team's holding on for dear life, for crying out loud. That's bullshit. All right? All right, I'm going to tell y'all a story about the wave. Okay. All right. And this was 2019. It was Memorial Day weekend. I think it was the Friday of Memorial Day weekend. Cubs were in town. And, of course, with interleague play, you know, Cubs used to be in the Astros division. You used to see the Cubs all the damn time. But, of course, now Astros is American League. This is 2019, of course, so interleague play, we didn't see him very often. And so I was like, hey, let's go see the Cubbies. So I'm sitting out there in left field, sitting in the Crawford boxes. Close game. It was, I think, it was either a tie game or the Astros may have been up by 1. All right, and I don't know, I can't remember what inning it was, but it was like the 4th inning, something like that, 4th, 5th inning. People start doing the goddamn wave. I shit you not. This is no joke. As soon as that wave started, Cubs hit a go-ahead home run. And boy, how did that wave stop fast. Because the Cubs took like a 1-run lead or something like that. And then the Astros came back and won the game. But that is why you don't do the wave in a close game. And that's why you don't do the wave earlier than the 7th inning. All right, you just don't do it. All right, and I will be that guy. I will be the guy that's like, no, stop. All right, the bases are loaded. We might go down, and you're trying to do the freaking wave. No, pay attention to goddamn. Root for your defense. Root for your pitcher to get the hell out of this damn inning, so we can keep our 1-run lead or 2-run lead or whatever. All right. Like I said, that Cub game I went to, guy hits a jack. Like I said, I've never seen a wave stop faster. It was just woo, and then it was crack, and then shit, and then everybody went whoop. Don't do the wave. All right. In a close ball game before the 7th inning. Just don't do it. Just don't. I know you want to. Don't. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. I don't know why the wave's such a big baseball thing. I guess because the game's slow or whatever. But that's just my 2 cents about the wave. Just don't freaking do it. All right. Like I said, there's a time and a place for it. Just know the time, know the place. All right. Don't be an asshole. Okay. All right, that's my 2 cents. All right, well, we're just under 30 minutes here. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. That's about all I got for today. So, NBA playoffs are underway. Kyrie Irving gets fined $50,000 for flipping the fans off. That was a really good game. That was the only really good game I think so far of the NBA playoffs. But we'll talk a little bit more as the playoffs go on. Like I said, unfortunately, I just haven't been able to watch any of it. But we'll still talk about it. Once again, the USFL, not that great. I mean, it's football. If you like football, you're going to watch. It wasn't really, wasn't that great. Wasn't that fantastic. And then don't do the waves unless it's the 7th inning or later, and your team is either trailing by more than 5 or more, or they're up by more than 5. All right, 5-run difference. All right, that could be acceptable. Late innings with a big lead. All right, only time to be able to do that. All right, but if it's the 7th inning though, and your team's down by 3, and they've got the bases loaded with nobody out, don't do the freaking wave. All right, root for your team so you can freaking hit a grand slam and take the lead, or for the guy to get a double and get back into the game. All right, don't start doing the wave. All right, or same thing goes. The visiting team's up, and your team's got a 3-run lead and they load the bases and there's nobody out. Root for your pitcher to get the hell out of it. Don't start the freaking damn wave. All right? Just don't do it. All right? time and place for it. There's a time and a place. Know your time and know your place before doing the freaking wave. All right. Now, once again, you find me on Twitter at JJ Sports Show 63. That's at JJ Sports Show 63. Do not take any lessons from smoking a cigar from this video today, because I fucked it up. All right, that's fucking horrible. And I need to refill my lighter. That was bad. All right. But on that note, enjoy the rest of y'all's week. We'll talk to you next week. Cheers. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Have a good one. All right. Bye.